Hey, everybody, we are popping in with an response to our question on, but seriously though, Tooth Fairy, Santa Claus, Easter Bunny. Backstory really quickly. For I think about a year ago, I was like, we really need to have this discussion. I mean, I know it doesn't seem like one of those more pressing topics for some people, but for some parents out here in these parenting streets, that old Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, and Santa Claus can be a pretty big topic for some households. So let's jump right into it. We put the question out there. Hey, do you guys celebrate Easter or the Easter Bunny? Rather, let me get that together. Do you implement the Easter Bunny, Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy in your house? Hold. What do you do? Do you not do it? Do you do it? Just give us the info. And we got some responses. Some of those responses were along the lines of yes, we let the kids have the magic for as long as they can because the world is, honey, the world. And so we let them have something to enjoy. It's a family tradition. We got it's been passed down from generation to generation, and I turned out great. And we agree with you there. We also heard we celebrated those things or we utilized the Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny, Santa Claus. I think this one was specific to Santa Claus until I had an awakening. And a child, I think, asked if Santa's fake, then is God fake? Or if that was a story or a lie, is that a lie too? Can I trust you now, mom and dad? And those are some thought-provoking responses. So we're just going to hop in there and give our thoughts, our take, our experiences on that whole deal. G?
So when it comes down to the Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, Tooth Fairy, the whole situation can become complex. In my household, in my upbringing, I was raised on believing in Santa Claus, Easter Bunny, and Tooth Fairy. As I got older, of course, I started believing in it. But during that time, it allowed my imagination to roam, just allowed me to be a kid. And for me as a parent, I want my child to have the same experience. I don't want them to lose that imagination of their mind of being so complex that everything's about just hard work and life being hard. A lot of their minds to mold and build creativity, and I feel like that comes in that part of the aspect. I'm probably going too deep into that,
Oh,
but
you can get deep, baby. Damn.
as a parent, I only can speak for us.
Yep.
Now with the Tooth Fairy,
Ooh, baby.
that becomes very complex
My Lord.
regarding trying to get the dollar, and sneak around the child and put the swap out the tooth for the dollar. Because I'm not gonna lie, there been plenty time
Child.
I have forgotten. And in the morning time, we're scrambling trying to figure out, hey, can we get the dollar?
Can
Who
you,
got a
yeah,
dollar?
are they up yet? You sneak the dollar. You go get this. Go grab some out of piggyback. Go do this. Go do that. Did you do it? I thought you did it. Da-da-da-da-da. Communication,
Yes.
y'all. And I think that's one of the things that made me like. I know somebody else is going through this. Somebody else, y'all. If you haven't seen the comments on the post, I actually ended up this last time. So Ivy lost two teeth this summer, right? So that first teeth, that second tooth, I was ready. But that first tooth, y'all, she lost that sucker. And I think okay, so they do like little slumber parties or sleepovers or whatever. And they end up going on to their own room. But that's a different story for a different day. So child Ivy lost a tooth, put her tooth underneath her what? Pillow. But then guess what? She went to another room and slept. She didn't sleep in her room. And so I think there was a miscommunication with the tooth fairy, but basically we forgot. Good morning.
Morning.
Basically we forgot. I told you this real life, right? Okay. One take wonder. And child, I think I ended up communicating with Jeremy. I think, were you gone?
I was
don't
on
know.
the train.
Yeah, he was gone. And so I ended up, oh my God, I got to get this. Da, 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 da. And I didn't have $1. I had 4 quarters, which is what? $1. And I stuck it under that pillow. Y'all, guess what? Forgot the tooth. Left the tooth under the pillow too. And so Ivy came in here. Why didn't she take my tooth? I was like, oh, Lord, I forgot the tooth, Jesus. Why is this job so stressful? And there should have been a manual or a training or orientation or something, but it wasn't. So this is what we got, each other, the community. Okay, y'all. So y'all, I was like, I don't know, Ivy, let me go and send an email or text or something to the hotline and see what they. So y'all, I ended up having my assistant. Her name is Chastity. I had Chastity to. I need a reason for why you got quarters and a reason for why you left the tooth, and just go and look at that little picture, y'all. I probably won't have time to insert it here, but just check that out. And she was so excited. I made the tooth fairy with this pretty curly hair. It looked like her, things like that. And she was so excited that the tooth fairy actually responded and gave. But the point is, baby, it's a whole job out here in the streets. And so can Santa, the Santa deal. Because you're at the mall, you're seeing different Santa Clauses. Well, I thought Santa Claus was over here. Well, I thought, how come Santa Claus looked like this and that Santa Claus looked like that? And I will say this, for all of the responses that we've gotten thus far, I will say this. One thing is definitely true, regardless of your reasons for belief or not belief. Baby, once you tell one lie,
you have to tell another.
Honey, you got to get your story straight. And I definitely had that same thought. Like, wait, what? Yeah, you're right. If I am lying about that, like, how can I distinguish? You know, thankfully, we do have that strong foundation. Our children are very heavy into God is the place to be. But I can truly understand how that can be difficult to differentiate if the people that you trust are like, oh yeah, just kidding. We was just playing about that.
So tell me this. Do you feel guilty?
A little bit, but I don't feel so guilty that I'm going to stop them from having this experience. In my upbringing, of course, we had all of the things. I think my mama said I started walking on Easter Sunday because I was trying to take DeAndre Holmes, my cousin's Easter basket. Yeah, I've been running their cousin relationship ever since, but I digress. So, Easter Sunday with the little ruffle socks and dress, and you get your Easter basket, that whole 9 yards. I don't even think I questioned who the Easter basket came from. I wasn't like, oh, the Easter bunny is real. We just knew, baby, we was getting this candy. We was getting this basket with some goodies in there. And we was going to go to church and we was going to talk about God and how he died, how Jesus died and rose on Resurrection Sunday and all that. So that was never misconstrued. But old Santa Claus, Chris Ivy, that's how you spell his last name. Yeah, that's my brother. And he's the one who told me Santa was going to put some ashes in my eyes. Baby, you don't understand how hard I had to close some eyes, y'all. It was stressful. It was stressful. And I think he was also the one who told me that Santa wasn't real. And I can't, honest God, remember how old I was. But, I was very familiar with Jesus Christ. And so there was no waiver on that. And I do feel like that's what we instill in our children. So just y'all, I really appreciate the responses. Y'all keep this conversation and others going. If there are some things that y'all think of, I definitely want to hear them. But as far as this goes, the Merritts, we do celebrate Christmas. We recognize Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior in our household. Our children have their own understanding of God, Jesus, all that we encompass. And as far as somebody telling them that Santa isn't real and all of those things, there's a huge part of my childhood that I wish I could get back. Santa was one of those positive aspects of it, just going to sleep and having something to look forward to that wasn't so complex, that wasn't so hard, that wasn't so serious as you so eloquently stated. And I want to have those memories for our children. I think when we get to that road, that's when we'll cross it.
Yeah.
Or is it the bridge that we're crossing? You got to be careful crossing the road these days. So, but I digress. We're going to just take that and say, hey, this was a tradition that's been passed on from dad, from mom's childhood, and everybody. I think Tyler pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that old elf on the shelf.
He recognizes that Santa Claus is not real. He has approached us separately, try to make sure our stories align, to be honest. So he questioned my wife first about Santa Claus, and then
straight interrogation style.
Yeah, I wasn't there, and then later on, he didn't realize that we communicate with each other.
We do that.
Yeah.
Now that we do.
So we had our stories aligned, but
except for the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, except for that.
Yeah, but that's a different story. Go ahead.
But we just don't want him telling his younger siblings, "Hey, there's no Santa Claus," especially the youngest one. She's a little sensitive about subjects like that.
Yep. But we're gonna have to handle with care.
But he has recognized, okay, there's no Santa Claus, but he plays the role as like he is excited about Santa Claus just to support his siblings.
Yep. And that's the thing about Tyler. First of all, you got to know your kids. You just got to know your kids. Like you stated about Ivy. I wonder how Carter's going. I think he's kind of like, yeah, as long as I'm getting these presents or whatever. Yeah. Oh, how do y'all feel? Like those of us who do celebrate with Santa or recognize Santa, do you sometimes feel like this fat dude, I'm not fat. Yeah. Fat Jolly. That's what we recognize him as, with the big belly. I think they'd be concerned if they saw skinny Santa. They recognize this. I wonder, do some people feel like he getting all this credit and I'm the one paying these bills and buying all these presents and trying to da-da-da-da-da and rapping and all. Sometimes you get in your little feelings a little bit, or you just absolutely love the magic. Or is it a combination of both? I just want to know. I don't know.
I think it's a personal issue.
You mad at a fictitious situation? But anyway, y'all, this has been fun. This has been real. We're going to get into some super deep topics, but I thought this was a nice, semi-lighthearted medium to start us at, or a nice little baseline. Don't forget, join us. If you want to join in on the conversation, you can do that by inboxing us. If you don't want to put your response out there, we'll keep you anonymous if you want to. There will be some recordings which you can join in on if you let us know that you'd be interested in that. And by all means, keep the conversation going. But seriously though, real talk with A and G. It's been great. Talk to y'all soon.
See y'all.